What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about Game 1 between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. This is a preview of Game 1. I want to do this before every game and do a review after every game. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Game 2's reviews will probably have to be, maybe they'll happen, if not because I'll be at a wedding. I'm not sure. I'm probably missing Game 2. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a post-game, but I probably will be doing a preview from a hotel, but this setup should be for most of where the playoff games are, and hopefully there's a lot of them for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of course, I am a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I know how good the Boston Bruins are. I'm not going to sit here and trash the Bruins because they are a very good team, and this should be for a very good series. Of course, the last two out of the last three times the Leafs have made the playoffs, the round one matchup has been against the Boston Bruins, and this should be a very fun series. The Bruins have won both of those in kind of heartbreak fashion in both ways. So let's just look quickly at the numbers. The Bruins 49, 24, and 9, 107 points, second in the Atlantic. The Toronto Maple Leafs were 46, 28, and 8, 100 points, third in the Atlantic. The season series, Boston took that 3-1 and 0. So Boston technically here has the advantage. They're the favorites going into this. They had 7 more points during the regular season, and they won the season series. And, you know, in the playoffs, the Bruins are a little bit more of a built playoff team, but we'll have to see if the Toronto Maple Leafs, with their new additions, can get them to the next level. So the starting goalie should be Tuukka Rask versus Frederik Andersen tonight, and the Boston Bruins are more than likely going to be playing their big guns a lot. Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak will be playing a ton of minutes. You'll see guys like McAvoy and Krug probably play a lot of minutes on the back end. Zdeno Chara has been a guy that's been effective in the playoffs for the Bruins, especially against the Leafs, especially in the playoff series, what was it, like 2014, 2013? But Chara has slowed down a little bit, so expect Krug and McAvoy to be the guys that get more minutes, probably play more of the heavy minutes. Boston's depth is pretty good. They've made some good pickups with Johansson, and then of course their bottom six is pretty good there with DeBrusk. And, technically DeBrusk plays all over the place. He's been pretty good this season, but they have really good depth. The Toronto Maple Leafs obviously are going to rebound with their top lines as well. You're going to see hopefully a lot of Matthews, Tavares, Marner. You're probably going to see a lot of Kapanen and Janssen, guys with speed. Marlowe and Kadri, Brown, types of guys that are more made for lockdown situations. Hyman. It's going to be a very interesting series. But Game 1 in TD Garden tonight in Boston, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, is going to be crazy. Like I said, starting goalie should be Andersen versus Rask. The Leafs have had some good fortune against Rask before. They've scored a lot. The Bruins have done that a couple times on Frederik Andersen as well. So hopefully the goalies are good tonight, and it's a good back-and-forth battle. I expect Game 1 to be very electric. The Leafs are going to have to find ways to match up against the Bruins' physicality, because we do know that Boston has a physical side to their team. They've proven it time and time again, not just in the regular season, but in past playoff appearances. Boston this year has a chance to go all the way to the finals if they play their cards right. I mean, you could say the same for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I personally think that I would say that the Leafs have a good chance of winning this series if they learn to play their game, speed and skill. They don't have to always match the physicality. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of scoring, and I think that Toronto can outscore Boston. But it's just whether or not that they can, try to play their own game, not play Boston's game all the time, because Boston is going to be trying to play that physical game, that mental game that Brad Marchand is so good at doing. And that's another thing that I'm seeing. A lot of people are saying, oh, just shut down, Marchand and whatever. It doesn't stop there. Pastrnak, Bergeron, and like I said, Krug, McAvoy, DeBrusk, they have a lot of really good players that can kill the Leafs, man. Like, they've got a lot. And the Leafs do have a lot that can match that too. So it should be very interesting. I'm very happy to see that the Leafs invested this year before the trade deadline to acquire another defensive piece. Jake Muzzin will be back in the lineup tonight. He missed a couple games to end the season, so it's good. You got a guy that can play a little bit more physical. He should be healthy. The Leafs lines are probably going to be Matthews with Kapanen and Janssen. That's probably going to be your first line. The second line is going to be Tavares, Marner, and Hyman. And again, you can mix and match those as the 1-2 lines. Your third line is probably going to be Kadri, Marlowe, and Nylander. The fourth line is looking like it's going to be Goat, Moore, and Brown. So that's probably going to be your four lines. On defense, it looks like it's going to be Riley, Hainsey, and then we're going to have Zaitsev, Muzzin, and then the bottom pairing is going to be Gardner and Dermott. So if Gardner and Dermott can be very good, they could be X factors for the Leafs. That's who I think really needs to step up for this series. And I know that this is just a cheap way of getting out of saying an X factor for Boston, but it's got to be Marchand for them. I mean, he's a guy that can get under everybody's skin. He knows how to get under the skins of not just the Leafs players, but the fans. They go crazy over this guy. And he's just not a guy that gets under your skin. The reason why he's an X factor is because he's a 100-point player. He's an incredible player. Patrice Bergeron is also another guy. He's one of the best two-way players in the game. The Leafs have to find a way to lock those guys down. If you can do that, you have a very good chance to win. The Leafs defense is going to have to be good. They haven't been very good all season. They've been a below average defensive team, and they need to find a way to play better together. And I'm really hoping guys like Muzzin and Zaitsev are a little bit more physical. We've seen Hainsey as of late get a little bit more physical, so maybe he steps it up a little bit there. Guys like Riley, Dermott, and Gardner are going to have to be on their game offensively as well as defensively. But when you have offensive talent like that, you've really got to go for it. I'm not sure if we're going to see Rosen or Marincin in this series. Knock on wood, hopefully we don't see Marincin. I don't think that he's really built for playing against the Bruins, but this should be really good. I mean, I'm thinking this series has to go 7 games, but this is just game 1. Babcock's got to be ready. Cassidy's got to be ready. This is going to be a very fun series to watch. Like I said, game 1 gets going tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. TD Garden, Bruins versus Leafs. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. It's a rivalry. So hopefully you guys will stick around to this channel to watch the previews and reviews of the games. I make all sorts of videos you can see on my channel. Make sure to subscribe. Love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Go Leafs go. Peace.